Good morning. Good morning on this Sunday, October 16th, 2022. Fall is here, but not in Roseburg. We're still warm and we have no rain. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Congregation, and know that we are so glad that you're here with us today. And I especially want to welcome anyone here for the first time, and we hope that you find our events and services stimulating and informative, and that you come back. We will be staying after for coffee and conversation, so if you're new, we can get to know you better, and if you're back again, it's wonderful to see you. I'm Lillian Fifield, your service leader for today. Our congregation here is vaccinated and masks are worn to keep us safe. So if you feel need for a little extra protection, please do keep that mask on. Much appreciation goes to our staff and our greeters and our tech crew, Jake Tranter, and our music person, Sean Shea. If you're joining us for the first time, we do stream live through YouTube, and there are cameras that kind of come down the center aisle here. So if you need to come up to the front, please come up the side and then across the front rather than down the center. There's a board meeting following the service, announcement 1. Announcement 2, Sean Shea's songwriting workshop begins this Wednesday at 6:30. And if you missed open mic, you missed something, come next month. Our presenter today is J.C. Pratt, presenting on the courage to love. Courage to choose love, actually. We begin in our compassion for those in need, and along with many other congregations throughout Roseburg, to collect food and other contributions for those among us who are hungry, ill, or perhaps without shelter. We do this through the fish pantry, and it is a combined effort of several churches, and our congregation has been a long-time supporter. So if I could get some help, we're going to pass some baskets. That would be wonderful. Thank you. While the baskets are being passed, again, we thank you with gratitude, and also to tell you that there are other activities we do, and may ask for some volunteering one day when we sit at the outside of a market and urge people who are shopping to make an extra purchase and contribute to the fish pantry. So know that your money and your food contributions go to a wonderful service in our community. Thank you, Anand and Martha. We begin each service with the lighting of our chalice. And for lighting our chalice today, we've selected a piece by Deborah Burrell entitled "A Flame to Light Our Path." Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. And may it light for us a path of joy and peace. We have some opening words by none other than Brené Brown, entitled Vulnerability. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. It is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. Never thought of vulnerability quite like that. Want to hear it again? Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. It is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. And now, could we have hymn number 1, number 298 in your hymnals, Wake Now My Senses, by the First Unitarian of Baltimore. No children in it. We won't be singing the children downstairs, so the next thing we're doing is our Cares and Concerns candle lighting. This is an opportunity for you to share any joy, concern, celebration that may be happening in your life that you would like to share with the congregation. We do so by forming a line, if you will, across my right, your left side of the building and coming across. And I'll be here with a microphone for those who wish to share out loud and candles to be lit. And if you choose to keep your thoughts and prayers to yourself, simply don't take the mic. You want to come join me now? It is at this point in our service when we pass the baskets, we are supported by voluntary generosity from all who join with us, and from, of course, the pledges that come in the mail and the yearly pledges that come at pledge time. Know that we are committed to making good use of the gifts and to make a difference in the world and to expand our beloved community. So the baskets are coming around. Thank you for the gifts we have received. May we be truly grateful, and may we be committed to using the gifts to make a difference in the world and to expand our beloved community. Please join me now. Rise if you are able. Hymn number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
Blessed with love and amazing grace, when
Well, that sounded like a choir in this room. Did you hear yourselves? If you were singing out like that, we have 3 people back now who are part of our choir, and we'd like to expand. Please think about that. That was truly beautiful. It is with great pleasure now that I get to introduce J.C. Pratt. J.C. is an elder in her prime, born in 1936 in Washington, D.C. She grew up in Seattle, graduated Smith College in 1957, and came to Roseburg in 1960 with her husband Jim. Not one to sit idle, within the year she had introduced herself to the League of Women Voters and the fledgling Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Soon she was also involved with the innovative education program that became the Phoenix School of Roseburg, all while raising 2 children, contributing to make life better, serving on several boards, including the Roseburg School Board. As happens, Ms. Pratt's life has taken other interests as her children left home. It's been a while. Today, J.C. Pratt's interests are threefold: the maintenance and enrichment of the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist congregation, continuing her shamanic studies, and continuously developing her spiritual life. She welcomes all who are interested or intrigued by these paths. And today, at 86, she takes an active interest in the aging process, and we now see some of how she's doing just that. So please welcome J.C. Pratt with the courage to choose love.
This talk has been writing itself for the last while, but even today, starting with the newspaper and Sean. What Sean gave us was a beautiful exhibition of vulnerability shared. Now, no matter what he does, he's going to be loved because he already told us he's nervous about it. Okay, and he already knew that to pretend he wasn't nervous about it was ridiculous. So that's why I'm starting with him, because he started me. This book, The Art of Possibility, is my new encouraging read. And in my talk, I'm going to invite you to join me in it. So I'm going to put it here so you remember. Goes nicely with her flowers. Okay. I'll talk about the newspaper afterwards. Okay. I think that Brené Brown's words are challenging and threatening, but she speaks of courage, and courage is the power of the heart. So that means we already know that courage and love go together, but we get confused. So there's 3 important things about my title. That one was about the courage, finding your own. The second is to choose. That is the first act of anything happening in your life, is that you choose how you're going to react to what's happening around you. And the third part is love. This is appropriate. This is maybe new. I grew up in a time when most of the songs were about love as part of a sexual relationship. It's so much bigger than that. And it has to do with, as it said up here, neighbors, community, anyone who needs your love. For instance, in the newspaper, there's a comfort drive to aid those at risk this winter season. They want all the warm clothes that you don't really want to wear anymore to please be given on certain times for the people who have no home. That's asking for you to act from love. That's all. And generosity. So first thing to know about vulnerability is that all of us have it. And you can go with that as a first premise. No matter who you're talking to or what you're talking about, you're both vulnerable in some way. So remember that and help us treat each other gently. So those words that Lillian read twice, let's define some things. Vulnerable means susceptible to injury, attack, censure, or criticism. Now open your program and look at that first. We are not who people say we are. We are who we know we are, or who we want to be. And vulnerable, our fear about being certain ways or certain things is how we shut ourselves down. But we all have it, so keep that in mind. And the other word to define is authentic. That being the case, what's authentic? It's truly worthy of reliance and belief. Truly worthy of people knowing you will do what you do, and that you believe that's who you are. Those things have to be gained, and that's what this is all about. So I know we are all vulnerable in our own ways, so let's get in touch with a way you know you are vulnerable. I wish this was a conversation and not a speech. But I want each of you to start listening to this in terms of your own specific life, because I'm going to ask you to realize what you're vulnerable about as we go along. If that vulnerability is the birthplace of all the wonder, joy, authenticity, how do I get from this feeling of being vulnerable to get beyond the criticism and censure to the courage of my authenticity? Well, Brené Brown, she's brave. She says it right out. Believing you are enough gives you the courage to be your authentic self. I'm not going to ask for hands being raised, but are there times in your life when you're not sure you are enough? Well, you are as enough as you can be because of how you believe in yourself. Boy, I'm already off the page here now. Let's see. Wisdom does that. Yeah. For myself, I need to feel it happening. And I have a little story that's seemingly almost inconsequential, but it gave me the experience that I want to bring to you. Last week, I was shopping. I went to Albertsons, and then I was going to Costco to get one thing. You know how that goes. And so I was out. I was going to take an hour to do these two things. As I left Albertsons, I went around, and you go around and you are at that corner where you can go across to get to the highway, or you can go around to get over to town. I mean, there's 5 different directions that light handles and keeps us from running into each other. So I drove up to that. As I drove past to that corner, there was a mother with 3 children, 3 girls, and she was asking for help in feeding her children. And I thought to myself, that's something I want to do, and now they're way back there, and I'm up here. And I'm eating a sandwich, and I'm feeling, I said, no, don't go to Gilt. It's noon, sandwiches are okay, and they don't have one, so go do your thing at Costco and come back. It's very hard to get from Costco back to that particular place. You have to drive through Albertsons and do all sorts of stuff. Anyway, as I came back, I had my money in my hand. The mom wasn't there. I imagine she had to go to the bathroom or something, standing out there all day. Anyway, I beeped the horn, lowered the window on the passenger side, put my money out that way, and the little one, I don't know, 5, came up and took the money and smiled at me and gave me a rose. And I just became mother, teacher, and smiled at her and said, thank you. And she said, thank you. And I went on because the traffic was back there. So I took the rose, and I thought about it, and I thought, this was a very deep sharing of a generosity that I did not expect. And so all the things in myself, I think body-wise, so it was like, okay, let me think what this is. I felt myself identify with her mother, with the mother wanting her not to be ashamed, but to give something to those who gave her something. I mean, it all just, if I write whatever. So I came home, actually Lillian put the rose in some water, and the next day I walked by it, and I felt all of that stuff again, all that generosity, the fact that I figured out how to get back from Costco to, the whole thing. And it was not an inconvenience. It was not something I was willing to let go of. And I felt something real inside myself and said, yes, you are a generous person. And yes, you are willing to share that which you have more than enough of. And so from that whole, hour-long thing, I realized I was being an authentic person that oftentimes I don't take the time to be. So, I could have talked myself out of that from the moment I was at the stop sign in the first place. But I didn't. Just a minute, have to count it. Now, if I can find out what I was going to do when I went on from there. Each time I noticed the rose in the vase on the table, my heart spoke. That was the real you. The shared smiles went deep. It was a shared moment of grace. Now, grace is something ephemeral, but I have always been drawn to grace, and I'm not sure why, but that was was a definition for me. So I'm a person who likes to do things with grace. Okay? That helps me, no matter what it is I'm planning to do. I want to do it with grace. Okay. So now I will look for grace times because it feels good to me. Somehow it calls to my authentic self, calls to me to choose love, even if it's inconvenient at the moment, and not to bother with the other stuff. Now, since we're always choosing, and fear and anger and disrespect and hurt feelings distract us from the grace possibility, so choose. What if we don't waste time? Oops, 2 followed by 3. On the defense and the anger, what if we choose not to run smack dab into another criticism or threat? Just choose to do something surprising. Because it's easy to defend. Wait a minute, you just told me, you just implied, you just. Okay, right. And remember, the person who is telling you what you just did wrong is not you. And so maybe you don't listen. I read it in a book by C.J. Vox. This guy said, yes, the plane went down and this happened, but that's not it. This is it. And I said, what do you mean, that's not it? But what he was saying was, don't get distracted by the negative. Choose not to run. Okay, I did that. I'm not too clear on the options in high energy situations, but I can choose not attaching to my vulnerable moment. Smile and listen. If the attack comes by email, maybe I could say, while I decide not to get drawn in to the anger, to the justification, to the, okay. We are all vulnerable and ungraceful at times. But I feel for me, if I reach for some grace in the situation, I may have to ignore the fight back. And there's not much fight back, not much grace in fight back. But I have helped to offer that book. This book by the Zanders offers 12 new ways to see the world and its problems and what to do about it. Now I ask you, 12 isn't an original number in how to help you do something differently. But this is a lovely, wondrous, freeing bunch of suggestions. And I'm offering it as an AEO. And I will order the books and we will read together and we will learn how to give love a chance, not go back to fighting over stuff we're really not interested in the first place. So old ways don't cut it these days. These are 12 ways to be in the face of challenge and problems that are intriguing, doable, and carry an amazing lift. Take a quick deep breath and find difference. I already said that. Now I want to let you in on some common vulnerabilities we all share. You know the child that interrupts you when you're trying to talk to your friend? How you want it to go away? Maybe the child hasn't learned how to ask for attention, so maybe you could make a deal with them. You want attention? This is what we can say, and then I'll know you're needing my love for a moment. There are other things that we do that distract us from having to say what Sean did so beautifully this morning. I've invited you to come, and I'm nervous about whether you will. You paid attention, didn't you? You listened. That's good. I'm now going to insert a meditation into this talk. And they're going to play a hymn, Comfort Me. And all I want you to do is what you do to meditate on any one thing that you know you are vulnerable about and how that makes you behave relative to other people. It's your own thing. The song, and Jake is going to start it, is Comfort Me. Just breathe and think about how you might be vulnerable in a way you can give up.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
As you end your meditation and come back to this, let the story of this small piece of awareness I experienced clarify your considering whether giving some thought to choosing love when it seems insufficient. What will it take to respond to your vulnerability with love and grace for yourself, as well as someone else? I hope we will all come to see that love is much stronger than we knew, and not necessarily dependent on another person. Courage in a world fraught with opposition will give us plenty of opportunities. So, I read a thing in a book, just a book I was reading. I don't know. Somebody else is choosing my reading material, I guess. When you come home to your authenticity, it might be like going to render an account to your soul. Having lived this long, I find it's much easier now to see the things that have worried me for 83 years. I've been about 3 years in getting this reorganized so that I'm not so vulnerable. But this person's quote was, "Maybe to come to yourself is the soul's way of cleaning up the litter of our life that we have walked away from so far." So that's kind of the end of what I was planning to say to you. And then I got this morning's paper. So while you get ready to see whether you're going to ask a question or something, front page. What's it say? Sober October. Front page article with pictures is 6 people who are out about their drug situation and their being sober in ways that theoretically only the other people in their 12-step group were supposed to know about. Front page of a paper with pictures. That means willing to be authentic and out as a person is helping people in a way, way beyond what it was intended. Then the other thing, the next thing, was a thing about the people who gave money to the Pretty in Pink thing for breast cancer and other cancers. And it lists the people who gave the very most money. And they call them courage sponsors. Under that came the hope sponsors. Well, hope is good, but it ain't going to get you there. And faith sponsors. But courage sponsors are the top. So that's what I'm saying. Finding your heart's courage is better than finding its safety. And then, just because it's the funnies and it's Sunday, Doonesbury guy says to his psychiatrist, "So Ray makes this reconciliation thing seem like a miracle cure." "No such thing, DB," says the psychiatrist. So far with RTM, we have close to a 90% remission rate with PTSD. "Oh man, I'm in. This thing's been kicking my ass for too long." It could be a definite reset, but you'd have, and listen, but you'd have to start owning your actions. You couldn't keep blaming the disorder for all of your problems. Oh, I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Would anybody have to know that you're cured? No, won't leave this room. So it's occurring to me that we are dealing with vulnerability as a country right now in a big way, and it's time for our voices to speak for our hearts. Thank you very much. Do we still have time for the other?
We have time.
Okay.
I don't think this congregation can let you do it.
I really appreciate, especially you bringing forth the concept of grace. And it brought to mind something that I think about often when I'm trying to have that grace, which is always assuming good intentions in those around us.
No matter what they're actually saying and doing, yes, I know.
Yeah, Jackie, very briefly, you mentioned something about little children interrupting when you're in the middle of a conversation. And I oftentimes find that some of those little children that are interrupting are almost as old or older than me.
Yes, right.
One of your best friends will tell you it's probably ADHD.
Before JC started her talk, I just tapped her shoulder and I said, "Oh, still going." I told her, "Break a leg." She laughed. You did.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful job.
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
Jackie, thank you so much for this. I tell you, this is, for me, one of the best sermons I've heard in a long, long time. And thank you very much, because it's one of those things that really let you take it home and chew on it and see how you can apply it to your everyday life. And that's, to me, the reason that you listen to people present in order, and you interact with other people in order to glean something that can help you grow and expand, and even things that you think you know, you forget. And it's so good to be reminded. So thank you very much.
I'm a privileged person who gets to get her wisdom often. And always listening, I always learn something. This was just wonderful. It hits the nail right on the head, something that we all need. And I want to commend you for the type of meditation that you did. As you may know, music hits me right where it really needs to happen. And I was in my zone and found myself singing. I hope I didn't annoy anybody, but I did. It put me to a place of such solitude and just joy. And I just thank you for the whole piece. It was just wonderful how you handled this. Thank you. And I'll join your group. I want to get that book.
Well, I've been one who can do marvelous things with my own vulnerability, and most of it involves being quiet, which is hiding. Sean?
Yes, JC, thank you for sharing your heart with us, which I think is the essence of this vulnerability, sharing of our true self. And I agree with you, sometimes it means stepping out of our comfort zone, doing something that's inconvenient or, involves some kind of risk and some kind of letting down our facade of feeling, prepared or, polished or whatever. But if we, in that sharing of ourself, we perhaps make a deeper impact.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It's funny how doing what you think is putting your self-defense away seems like disregarding you. But if you do it in order to be heartfelt, then it's allowing yourself to grow. And that's where the grace comes in.
Jackie, I like to, see my little book, I like to take little notes of gems that I get from the speaker. Choose love even when it's inconvenient. Man.
Jackie, thank you very much. I'm brand new to this congregation First Day. My name is Melinda. Could you hold up that beautiful book that you referred to?
Yes. It's called The Art of Possibility, Transforming Professional and Personal Life by Rosamund Zander and William Zander. Rosamund is a therapist. William is an orchestra director. And he mostly works with children, high school age children. And one of the things that he does is his first assignment to his children in a class is tomorrow, bring a letter explaining why you got an A in this class, because I'm giving you all A's right now. And that, of course, blows their minds. So then what happens is he gets letters back saying, I got an A in this class because I quit fooling around and did my homework. Or, in other words, just the fact that I am going to treat you as an A student helps them all be A students. So what we expect from others, if we expect the best and wait for it, maybe we're helping. That's good. Okay.
I have a quick comment, JC. I did not know, JC doesn't often share with me what she's writing as she's writing, but I want you to know that during the last 2 weeks, have been pretty stressful. What went through my head the entire time was simply the courage to choose and love.
Yeah, courage to choose.
That's, I guess, to all, the courage to choose love. We now have a hymn, There's a River Flowing in Our Soul, and thank you, J.C. Pratt.
Don't forget your...
in my
Our closing words for today are entitled, I Am No Bright Light by Kevin Anderson. I am no bright light. I am no bright light, just a filament for the light. I am no bright light, just a filament for the light. I am no bright light, just a filament, for the light is a higher power flowing through. I am no bright light, just a filament, for the light is a higher power flowing through every twisted coil of my humanness. And in extinguishing the chalice, we leave you with these thoughts. Love is our spirit by Eric Williams. Love is the spirit of this congregation. May the songs we sing celebrate this love. May the lives that we live embody this spirit. And may you all go forth in peace. And please join for Go Lift It Up. Blessed be, and please join us for coffee, tea, and conversation.